Good morning, good morning. First let me get this out of the way. Last night I camped, might have been as early as 4. I got to the shelter at Garvey Shelter, I think it is, and there were supposed to be thunderstorms, but I noticed I was taking a break there, and I was intending to go at least 4 and some change miles to the next shelter, because I think the water is easier or whatever. And it was early, but I noticed the bugs had gone down and the air was feeling weird, and it was starting to cloud up and the wind was picking up, and I'm like, it's gonna rain real soon. And the way the forecast looked, it was gonna be a sustained rain. It wasn't just gonna like rain for an hour and go away. It was gonna be a sustained thing. So I'm like, I'll just camp right now, get things set up. So yeah, I ended a bit early, like not long after my last clip yesterday. And it was a good thing too, because I got my tent set up, I got inside, started getting things arranged to hunker down, and wouldn't you know it, that's when it started raining. So I got my stuff set up, I didn't have to rush, I wasn't trying to race the rain. I got it set up, and then the rain came. And it did rain for a considerable amount of time, till after 9. So it ended up being a good decision. I like when that happens. That way I didn't wake up this morning regretting camping early, because it did exactly what I thought it would do. So today, the thing about Maryland is you're mostly going through state park in Maryland, state park land, and they don't want you really disperse camping. So basically going established campsite to established campsite, or shelter. So that's why I ended up where I was yesterday. And today I plotted out like a 16.5. Hoping to make it with the smaller elevation changes in Maryland. It's pretty doable. I got out of camp fairly early today. I'm starting to wake up a little bit earlier, which is nice. So I woke up fairly early. I didn't make coffee because I was trying to save water, because the water here it can be difficult. It's not as easy as just having a spring running right off the trail a lot of times. At least not so far, and not from what I've heard from others. That Maryland and PA are kind of, you gotta use a little more brains with your water, really think about it more. Until now, some parts of Virginia were like that, but yeah, you really have to put a little more planning into the water situation. So my ankle is not great. It's itchy right now. I don't think my pain pills have kicked in yet, but hopefully that'll take some of the, and warming it up will take some of that off. I hope it's at least mostly healed by the time I get past Dunn Canyon, because that's where the rocks start. Not that there's not rocks right now, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see where I get today. you know, like I said, I'll go more like by time, because I have to be able to make it, unless I make it out of Maryland today, which would be a real stretch. I mean, it can be done. I don't know that I will do it, and I'm not aiming to do it. I figure one more night in Maryland, and then we'll be in Pennsylvania tomorrow. Either way, I'll either be in Pennsylvania tonight or tomorrow. I just don't want to roll into Penmar Park like after dark, not because I think Penmar Park's dangerous or anything, just because I want to see it. Still working out what my next resupply point's gonna be. And opportunity to upload. Of course, I have to film videos to have anything to upload, but every day I do it, I get a new video. So, but it's gonna be these will be running close to real time now. I think there's gonna be less than a week cushion, definitely. Which will be helpful for folks like my mom and dad who watch the videos, but they also get updates from me on the phone and on Facebook. So, like, they're dealing with like 3 different timelines of me being on the trail. So I feel bad for them in ways. I had finally gotten it to a point where, like, the last video I have, I think it comes out Thursday at midnight, or Wednesday at midnight, one of the two. Is when I actually get into Harper's Ferry, and since I basically, like, trail day is just counting, not counting all the time I spent in the hostels, it's pretty close to where I'm at now. So yeah, I think I wanted to take a break at the next shelter, or actually before that, to get water. There's a road crossing that has restrooms and a water spigot, so I'll be stopping there to get water at least. I might take a quick break before that. I do have a little bit of water that I can drink until I get to that, until I can fill it again, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right, I'll see y'all down the trail. There you go. Well, I am enjoying Maryland so far. I mean, aesthetically, it's beautiful. The trail looks beautiful. It's lived up to the being, you know, generally pretty easy. There's been a lot of rocks, so there's been a little bit of, you know, having to watch where you're going, but like this stretch up here is really nice. Yeah, I only have a couple days of this though, because Maryland is one of the shorter states. I mean, nobody beats West Virginia, but for that, but yeah, Maryland is one of the shorter stretches. PA is kind of a medium one. You know, after Virginia though, everything is going to seem a little bit shorter. I think PA's, I don't know, it takes up almost an entire far out map, which those usually run around 300 miles or so, 250, something like that. So we'll see. But I am looking forward to PA too. The obviously from north to south, and it's been gradual, but the woods have changed. You these aren't the same kind of woods that I had in Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. But it's been a gradual change, especially through Virginia. Virginia had a lot of wild cards to throw in too. But the general, just generic, I'm loath to call it that, generic woods, but because it's all beautiful. I should more say, more the woods I grew up in, or being around. A lot more recognizable is more like Ohio and all that, where we had woods in Ohio and not just a bunch of farmland. And we had woods. You can get to woods, and it looked kind of like a start. And this kind of reminds me of a little more western PA, except not really seeing pine trees, really. There's no forest I like better than a pine forest, just because of the smell and the pine needles, spruce as well. So I'm doing all right so far. I mean, the ankles, again, hitchy, but I think the pills are kicking in. And I'm just gonna be steady today. That's my goal anyway. I'm gonna I got a good, decently early start. I'm thinking I'm gonna be able to make that work going forward. And this is kind of one of those days where I just hike till I'm tired of it. So it should be, barring anything, bad happening, a bigger day. Like I said, I planned for 16.5, and I haven't had any indications yet, although I'm only 2 miles into the hike, but, 2.5 probably now. Haven't seen anything yet. That would lead me to believe it won't be that way, that I won't be able to pick up some bigger miles. The terrain is favorable. At least the grade is favorable. Elevation gain and loss and all that stuff seems conducive to a bigger day. Only thing that would probably stop me is if I suddenly get lazy or the ankle stays not optimal. Well, it won't be optimal regardless, but this is really tender, and it's it doesn't throb or anything when I'm standing still or sitting in my tent or whatever, but when I'm walking, the pressure makes it uncomfortable. It's nothing I'm overly concerned about yet, just a minor annoyance at this point. Maybe slightly more than minor. If that changes, I'll of course let you know. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of cruise today, see what the day brings, kind of get back into it. And Harper's Ferry messed me up. Messed me up something, and I wasn't expecting it. I really was not expecting it, and I think that's what it is. Because I felt great up until that exact point where I just hit that wall so hard. But I'm recovering. I'm already feeling better after having spent the night in the woods. That always jolts me back. It was a shorter day yesterday. I wasn't fully back into the groove. Just that whatever miles I did was enough to kind of get the spark going again. I'm more thinking down trail than I am, thinking about, where's my next stop, all that stuff. Back into a trail mode. Anyway, yeah. I'll get back with you a little further down the trail when I know more about what's going on, or when I see something cool I want to share with y'all. All right, see you in a bit. This is a cool little area. Kind of a picnic spot with some cool old buildings. Got a pavilion over here. And it's Gathland State Park. Some ruins over there behind the picnic pavilion. That's cool. Get across this. See the trail down there. I don't really see picnic tables though. I see benches. Well, picnic tables in the in the pavilion. Yeah, I could see this being a cool place to spend an afternoon or something. Maryland has a view. What do you know? That's a pretty one. It's nice. Very nice indeed. I'm gonna take a break here. Doing pretty good still. Angle's a little bit better. It's not great, but it's working. But yeah, I'm gonna take a break here, and I will get back with you a little bit on the trail. All right.